Do you feel that you are an introvert? Are you socially awkward? Do you feel that being an introvert, not able to communicate with others, not able to network with others, preferring to spend time alone in isolation, do you feel that it is a disadvantage for you? Do you get the feeling that you want to change yourself, or has someone told you that being introvert is not a good quality which should be changed? If it is so, you are absolutely wrong. It can feel like serious disadvantage to be an introvert in an extrovert's world, but there are many ways in which the quiet ones, the introverts, outshine the extroverts. It can seem like severe disadvantage to be introvert, right? Extroverts appear to have all the fun. They are very popular, they are recognized, but introverts may get passed over and have valuable work which goes unnoticed. Despite this, there are many areas in which introverts have a leg up on extroverts. Many of today's most successful people are introverts, be it J.K. Rowling, Steven Spielberg, or even Michael Jordan. Not only do introverts have the ability to rival extroverts professionally, but they also possess number of distinct advantages over them. There are many areas where introverts actually have advantages over extroverts. Introverts are very loyal and committed friends and colleagues. They may be judged for their lack of participation in the classroom or work or family, but they are very committed and very loyal friends. Because they value their space, both physically and energetically, they tend to respect the space of others. They are largely independent and not clingy, and they are generally more inclined to be polite and considerate of the impact of their behavior on others. They tend to think before they speak, whereas extroverts may blurt out things that come to the mind. Right? Introverts have very creative and original minds, while extroverts may adopt the values of the group and what is mainstream and popular. Introverts tend to have their own preferences that are less influenced by whatever's trending today on Instagram. They may even gravitate towards things that are obscure, unusual, or downright strange, like niche topics of interest. Because they spend most of their time on their own, away from large social places, introverts may be more apt to develop perspectives, ideas, and insights that are unorthodox and novel. Albert Einstein, the introverted theoretical physicist, is a perfect example. He is quoted as saying that monotony and solitude of quiet life stimulates the creative mind. Also, introverts are shrewd decision makers and problem solvers. Because of the way that they are wired, introverts are predisposed to exercising caution and deliberating thoughtfully before making a decision, often completely on their own. This propensity for deliberation gives them a greater advantage when it comes to things like critical thinking and problem solving. The constant motion of day to day life prevents you from engaging in deep thought, which inhibits creativity and lessens productivity. Whereas solitude, that introverts want, helps them in working through problems more effectively. Because they spend more time reflecting and observing, introverts are also liable to accrue deeper understanding of various aspects of life, including human behavior. They may contribute to greater judgment in business or penetrating insight as a psychologist, or being a good judge of character. They take their time to reflect on and process a decision properly so they can choose the best course of action that they won't later regret. Introverts are also better listeners. Introverts really tend to listen and consider ideas and feelings of others. In conversation, they may take mental notes and focus intently on what the other person is trying to express, as opposed to simply waiting for their chance to speak. Because they process things deeply, introverts are naturally more receptive and interested in taking in information than divulging it. This is why people often confide in introverts and why they are so good at keeping secrets. Because of their private nature, many introverts inherently understand how difficult it is to open up and trust people, so they may work even harder to be trustworthy themselves. Introverts can focus deeply and they can block out distractions. Because they give less time to socializing, that naturally leaves more time and attention to devote to other things. They have the ability to cloister themselves away from the rest of the world and bunker down to accomplish a task or objective. Provided there are no disruptions, they can deeply immerse themselves in solitary activities like research, writing, creating music over a long period of time. They go into a state of flow. The temptations that compete for extroverts' attention hold no power over the introverted mind. Their ability to concentrate can make them experts in their chosen field of interest. Introverts also cultivate deep relationships with others, which are very meaningful. They prefer quality of relationships over quantity. Extroverts are more inclined to rack up bounty of personal connections, but many of them will be casual in nature. They consider almost anyone a friend. Because of their limited social energy, introverts are more selective about who they allow into their world. So the relationships they do form will be cherished and nurtured. As Adam McHugh, author of Introverts in the Church, writes, introverts treasure the close relationships they have stretched so much that they make. As a result of cultivating a smaller but closer social circle, introverts are better able at surrounding themselves with people who are trustworthy and loyal to them. When you become good friends with an introvert, they will consider you a friend for life, even though you may go for a long period without talking. Introverts are more independent and they need less supervision. Many extroverts insist on teamwork and being a team player, but because introverts are more private, they are inclined to cultivate a lifestyle that maximizes autonomy and self sufficiency. Whenever possible, they prefer to work independently, and because of this tendency, they usually require less supervision and fewer check ins than extroverted employees. Managers you can usually trust them to carry out a task without being derailed or distracted by socializing. Many introverts loathe being dependent on others, and they feel empowered when they are able to deal with challenges relying solely on their own merits. These are many advantages that introverts have over extroverts. Also, introverts are more creative, right? The extroverts focus on social engagement can drown out their inner voice. Introverts tend to be more comfortable spending time alone. Susan Cain, author of Quiet, says that some of the greatest ideas, arts, and inventions, from the theory of evolution to Van Gogh's sunflowers to personal computer, came from very quiet and cerebral people who knew how to tune into their inner worlds and the treasures to be found there. Academic performance of introverts is also very high. Quiet people, they have the loudest minds, is what Stephen Hawking said. Introverts excel in academic environment. At the university level, introversion predicts academic performance better than cognitive ability. One study tested 141 college students' knowledge on 20 different subjects and found that introverts knew more than the extroverts about every single one of them. Introverts received disproportionate numbers of graduate degrees, national merit scholarship positions. They outperform extroverts on the Watson-Glasser critical thinking appraisal, an assessment of critical thinking widely used by businesses for hiring and promotion. Introverts, their health is also much better. Because introverts tend to think before speaking or acting, they are less prone to impulsive behavior and the kinds of accidents that can result. A focus on internal rather than external cues may curtail overeating. And being tuned in to the need of recharge, introverts tend to get more sleep than extroverts. Also, introverts are more successful in their business. In the global workplace, an introvert's low-key personality may work well within cultures that place less emphasis than Western world on the traits of extroversion. Introverts may also excel at communicating via social media, a top skill in today's world of influencers and connections. And leadership. Introverts are more likely to be effective leaders in organizations that encourage workers to contribute ideas. We have already spoken about leadership before. Introverts' listening skills are also better. They are more observant, which makes them much better leaders. So, if you are an introvert, there is no need at all to be ashamed of that fact. You can be very proud of your own personality and actually work on it and use your introversion to become something in life. You can use that strength as an introvert to gain advantage over people who are not very introvert. You can actually use it to your advantage if you are an introvert. Bill Gates has said this quote that introverts can do very well in life. Thank you so much for listening.